Let's talk about gallbladder stones. Gallbladder stones is a serious condition, but initially it's not a problem because they sit inside the gallbladder and they don't create any problem, any pain, nothing. Though at times when you have heavy meal, what happens? A lot of bile is needed, and then the bile gallbladder is pumped more because to get it out of it. It goes down the cystic duct and then hepatic duct, then all the way to the stomach. And there the bile uses two things, works in two ways. It makes the food small, the fat, the food into smaller molecules, and after then from uh, pancreas, lipase comes out, and this lipase absorbs it digests the food. This is how our stomach gets all right. Right, but when you remove gallbladder, then it's a serious problem because you need bile. It gets to the stomach, and maybe large amount of bile. If it is large amount of bile, then you have dysentery. When you have shortage of bile in the stomach, then it gets constipation. Right, there's a problem. And when you do not have gallbladder, when you have it removed, then it comes regularly, and then it gets so much more than necessary, or it's less than necessary, then the problem arises. So what is important is you try your best to keep the gallbladder. When the stones are soft, these are called sludge, gallbladder sludge. When these sludges get harder, they turn into stones. Usually Dr. Berg and greatest doctors all around the world, they say that gallbladder removal can be lessened up to 75%. If 100 people have had their gallbladder removed, there could have been possibility that 75 people do not need the gallbladder removal. It's possible. There is a kind of gallbladder stone what is very, if it is very dark, this kind of stones do not get removed, nothing is done. Operation is essential, but you try your best. If you have gallbladder stones, you can catch it, you can understand, you can diagnose by two ways. You can have X-ray, you can have ultrasound. Usually it's ultrasound. If ultrasound report tells that you have gallbladder stones, you don't need X-ray. And if it is not possible, if it doesn't show gallbladder stones, then X-ray may be necessary, especially when the gallbladder stone gets stuck in cystic duct, or it gets even down to hepatic duct. So when gallbladder stones are there sitting inside gallbladder, this is a cholelithiasis. When one or more stone gets out of the gallbladder and gets stuck in cystic duct, it is called cholecystitis. And when it goes further down into and gets stuck into hepatic duct, then it is called choledocholithiasis. So choledocholithiasis is the third stage, cholecystitis is the second stage, and gallbladder stone is not a problem. Usually 10% may have this problem because one or more stone gets out of the gallbladder and gets stuck in cystic duct. When you have a stone stuck in cystic duct, it is cholecystitis, and this creates inflammation. The wall may be inflamed, may be swollen. That's a problem. You have to have it removed. You have to have the gallbladder operated, removed. It's good. And if you take longer, then what happens? The stone may get farther down and stuck into hepatic duct. So you have gallbladder, and then you have a pipe, narrow pipe. This is cystic duct, and you have here liver, and liver you have is bigger passage, that is a hepatic duct. So all the way you have a lot of things coming up from liver, and if a stone is stuck into the hepatic duct, then all the vitamins and minerals and all the enzymes and all these things will get stuck, and that will create a problem. So cystitis, if you have cholecystitis, then you have your gallbladder removed. This is very good, very necessary. You should not take long time. And if it gets some way stuck in hepatic duct, then this is a serious problem. You will develop jaundice. It is life-threatening. You will have infection. Your pancreas may be infected, may be inflamed, may be affected. Lot of problems. One of my relatives, he had his operation done at Rajshahi Medical College. What happened is that when he had a pain, it means that he had cholecystitis. One stone gets out of the gallbladder and it gets stuck in cystic duct. That was cholecystitis. But unfortunately, his father died, and as his pain was not there, he did not care. He took longer, maybe 1 month or so, and then it became a serious problem because the cholecystitis, it was initially, but later the stone gets out of the cystic duct and got stuck in hepatic duct, and then inflammation takes place. The pus starts in the pus formed in stomach, and pancreas has been affected. So he had a severe operation, kind of 4 operations, right? At a time, in one operation, it was done. At one time, it was done, but it was a serious operation. So what is good is you take care of your health. You take proper sleep. You take exercises. You should not have a lot of carbohydrate. You should be having intermittent fasting, and your psychological condition, your tension should be under control. It should be under some level. Then you can get rid of all these problems, right? So the thing is that, in summary, bile is created, is formed produced by liver, and it gets down the hepatic duct and inside the cystic duct, and then it gets inside the gallbladder, and there the bile is stored, and it is concentrated, kind of 5 times concentrated, like condensed milk. As it gets concentrated, and when you have food, bile gets down all the way to the stomach, and it does 2 things. It washes like detergent powder, like that. It makes the food into smaller molecules, and then from pancreas, lipase is formed, and it gets out, comes to the stomach, and then it digests your food. So for digestion, 2 things are necessary. Bile will clean, at the same time make the food into smaller pieces, and lipase will come out of the pancreas, and then it will digest the food, and waste will get out of your body all the way from small intestines, then large intestines, and then colon, and then as a stool if you get rid of this. So why gallbladder stones are formed? It's mainly because you have high cholesterol. When you have high cholesterol, triglycerides are high. At the same time, you have heavy meal. When you have heavy meal, you need much more bile, right? But if you do not have that much bile, then because of the shortage of bile, the gallbladder stones are formed. Initially, these are soft, these are called sludge, but when they get harder, they are called gallbladder stones. So if you have pain, then probably you have cholecystitis. One of your stones from gallbladder gets out of your gallbladder and is stuck in cystic duct. When it happens, especially when you have a large meal, you are in a wedding ceremony, it happens at dawn or 2 a.m. because you have had a lot of food in the program, you came back home and slept, and then the problem arises because a lot of bile is necessary. When a lot of bile is necessary, then to squeeze, right, the gallbladder will be more and more squeezed. When you have a lot of stones in the gallbladder, they sit inside, they are not a problem. 10% of the people may get problem when one of these stones or more gets out of the gallbladder because more squeezing takes place, and this is how the stone gets out and can't go out of the body. It gets stuck in cystic duct. It is called cholecystitis. So initially stones are inside gallbladder. This is called cholelithiasis. When one stone gets out and gets stuck in cystic duct, it becomes cholecystitis, and it is an inflammation. You will have heavy pain and you have to have operation as soon as possible. And it's not that serious. If you have ultrasonography or if necessary you have further investigation with x-ray, then if it is not serious you can take time, but sooner the better. You have to have your gallbladder removed. And unfortunately, if it sits a long time there in the cystic duct, it gets out of the cystic duct and gets stuck in hepatic duct. When hepatic duct is blocked, all the vitamins, minerals and all the enzymes from gallbladder, from liver get stuck. They can't come to the belly, everything gets wrong. So this is a kind of infection. Then it infects the hepatic duct, and it can even infect pancreas. If is creating any problem in pancreas, it is called pancreatitis. Pancreatitis is also very dangerous because pancreas is most sensitive. It's a small organ. At one point, if somebody develops pancreatic cancer, then this is the worst cancer because metastasis takes place at the earliest period. And as this organ is very small and very vital, it creates problem. So we don't have cancer because of gallbladder stone, no problem. But if it gets stuck in cystic duct cholecystitis, and it gets down and gets stuck in the hepatic duct, this is called cholelithiasis. Then infection takes place. In cholecystitis, infection doesn't take place. It is inflammation problem. That's not a serious problem. Antibiotics are not necessary if you have cystitis, cholecystitis, but doctors become more careful and they give antibiotic as if it's not inflammation, it's infection. But when it gets stuck in hepatic duct, what is called cholelithiasis, then infection takes place. It creates infection, it even disturbs, destroys or infects or inflames pancreas, and this is how the problem. One lady has been operated. He had some stones in her belly, in her stomach, because she had cholelithiasis, stones in the gallbladder, and some stones get out of all the way from cystic duct via hepatic duct and then all the way to the stomach, and there the stones could not get out of the body from small intestines, then from large intestines, all the way from rectum to colon to stool, right? So this is a problem. Just I have discussed a little how, I don't know how much it comes to your health. If it does, then please consider subscribing to my channel, like, share, comment. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.